I think for many of us, when it comes to witches, we're quite familiar with Salem's trials, right, in New England. We're perhaps a little bit familiar with what's happened in Scotland with all the witches burning. But how many of us are aware of what happened during the same time period in Norway? Okay, guys, before I tell you what I think about the book, let me first install a sense of geography in your minds. I am now in Lofoten, northern Norway. If you look at Google Maps, you will find Lofoten is actually inside the Arctic Circle. Took us about an hour and a half fly from Oslo all the way north to get here. Beautiful, isn't it? Now, the location of the book is called Islands of Vardo. That is that way. That's north. If you fly from Lofoten to that location of Vardo, it will take you another hour. So that really should give you a sense of just how remote and bleak that location is. And all the story, well, much of the story happened over there in the winter when 24 hours are darkness. Although it's a fiction endeavor, it is actually based on real history of the witch burning in 1662 and 1663. Now, the writer was Anya Bergman. She currently lives in Ireland and she works on her literature PhD in Edinburgh University. Now, the story was first conceptualized during her time in Norway. She lived here in Norway for a long period of time, and by chance she encountered the stories of the witch burnings in the island of Vardo, and she became very intrigued by the story, and she wants to bring the lives, reimagining lives of those witches to the modern reader. As I said in the beginning in our intro, is that many people are quite familiar with, Salem trial and what happened in Scotland, but not many people know about, what happened in Norway. The story started rather slowly, and when I first start reading it, I was wondering whether or not I can finish the book. It was really slow going. However, the book seems to find fifth gear from gear one, run about 15% in, and it really started to grab my attention. And then from that moment on till the end becomes much, much more interesting and very easy read. It's quite a large book, in fact. It's nearly 500 pages, so it's not a small investment in time to actually finish through that book. But it's absolutely amazing, guys. The story centered on three main protagonists. All of them are women. The first one is Anna. She was the mistress of the King of Denmark. At that time, Norway was also part of the Kingdom of Denmark. The second character is Ingeborg. Ingeborg is a daughter of a fisherman. And the last one, and perhaps the most attractive, the most enigmatic, was Myron. Herself is a mixed blood from native Norwegian with a North African treatment. So because of her skin color, she always seems a little bit different. And she, in the book, seems to have a supernatural power throughout the chapters, which really makes her a very interesting character to get into. But anyway, the story started with a storm blow against the island of Vardo, and Ingeborg's family, her dad and brother, were both drowned off the sea. And her mother became grief-stricken, not so much of her husband, but of her son. So much so that she started to neglect her motherly duty, and she treated her her youngest daughter horribly, because she thought her youngest daughter caused the storm which sunk her husband and son's boat. Because I won't go into too much detail because I want you to really enjoy the storyline itself. Needless to say, she treated her absolutely horrendously. Devastated by the death of her son, Ingeborg's mother sought solace by having an affair with a local man, the son of a powerful local merchant. The problem started for her is the fact that the son was married already to another woman. Now, everyone close to Ingeborg's mother trying to advise her to give up this foolishness because she's going to get everybody in trouble. However, she was rankless enough to believe in what she had with this man to be love. Now, obviously, the man's wife was understandably angry and vengeful, so she called the local governor, and denounced Ingeborg's mother as witch. And through her recklessness, Ingeborg's mother, through her recklessness, she condemned pretty much single-handedly all those who loved her, including her daughters. She condemned them all by her foolishness, by her recklessness. And that made her one of the most exasperating as well as a tragic figure in the whole novel. She played a fundamental role, even though she's not a main protagonist, but her being there is critical for the development of the novel. She was a fascinating character. She was a fascinating study of a character, of human psyche. And the writer delivered her as a character pretty much to perfection. And that was one of the reasons why this novel was so successful. One of the subjects that has been explored in the novel is the subject of love. It sort of exposes or trying to discover just exactly how durable love really is. Can it survive not just tests of time, but tests of pain and torture? Love between husband and wife, love between lovers, and love of your child. How strong is this love? And how quickly can you forget? The main character, Anna, the mistress of King of Denmark, in many ways was very, very similar to Ingeborg's mother, in the same sense that they love the men that cannot give their love back or pretend to give their love back, but breaks at the first hurdle. And yet the woman was, I don't know, stupid is such a silly thing to say in front of strong emotions such as love. It's definitely not stupidity, but the blind belief that whatever they do, that the love they give can also be given back to them. So I think that's really profound part of the novel. It really examines just exactly what love is and how durable it is. Look at this view, guys. It looks so tranquil, isn't it? But horrible things, such as witch hunting, happened not exactly here, but in the same country. And that is really the theme of the book. Look, guys, I highly recommend this book. Is one of the best books, as I said, I have read during this year. I'm not myself very familiar with witch burnings and witch huntings, and this is my first endeavor. And I find the subject matter fascinating and historically accurate as well. Many of the actual interactions during the witch trial in the novel was taken from the actual transcript of the trial itself during 1662 and 1663. So the characters are true to life, or as true to life as they could be. So if you are interested in the subject matter, I definitely recommend to give this book a try. Before I read this one, I also tried to read Mercies, and that was also about witch huntings in island Vardo, except that was based a few years earlier. I find it quite a struggle to get into that book because the writing style is a little bit unusual, so I find it hard going. So I give up after 30 pages. But this one, on the other hand, is completely different. It's a little bit of slow going in the beginning, but it really took off. And yeah, highly recommend it. 5-star for sure. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this vlogging. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and share it and like it. And I'll bring more in the future. Cheerio.